Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Just coming back to you with a fun little service I get to do as I'm going to crack open this sweet Major Melon. This stuff's awesome. But anyway, so we're going to be working on today a Haldex service for the S3. And I did this exact same thing on my Golf R. I didn't really talk at all. I was just screwing around with it. But it's all the same between the Golf Rs, the S3s. It's the same Haldex unit. So I ordered this kit from FCP Euro. And right here you get your Haldex fluid, and it doesn't say Audi on it, but this is Febby, I think. It's Febby something. But they are the manufacturers who make that oil, so it's a little bit cheaper, and it's the exact same stuff. So here is your Haldex oil, and in that kit you get some, you right here get some bolts. These are that hold the Haldex pump into the unit, and then you get some new O-rings to seal it. And here is your drain plug for your Haldex, and then here is your fill plug. Here's your fill plug. And the fill plug here is a, let's see what this is. This is a T5 Torx, yep, on the fill. And the drain plug is a 8 millimeter. Sorry, it's not Torx. 8 millimeter and 5, I said. 5 millimeter. Then your O-rings, and then for the pump, that is a Torx, and that is a T30, a T30 on that guy. And also, from my last project, I had an extra bottle of differential fluid, so I'm gonna, while I'm down there, it's this all in the same unit, it's all in the same package, so I'm just gonna drain the differential at the same time and throw some new stuff in, as long as I'm down there. So you might be wondering why I'm doing this. The car doesn't even have 30,000 miles on it. It has like 29 something. But basically I was going to plan on doing it at about 30,000 anyway, just to get any of that crap from assembly out, you know, all the weird stuff that's in there from just the parts breaking in and such. So I was going to do it, but when I was under there working on my downpipe, I'll show you what I found. I happened to notice down here, if you crawl under and look right up here at this Haldex unit right here, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll get my light. You can see it's got a little bit of oil on there. So it's leaking probably from one of those little O-rings. So it's slowly been dripping, and it was a lot messier, but I wiped it down. And so it's gonna have to have new O-rings put in anyway, so I get those in the kit, which is nice. So yeah, so that's kind of why I saw that. Well, I said, well, if I'm going to be doing it at 30 anyway, and it's got 29, let's just drain the Haldex fluid, clean that little screen, that plastic screen you could see in my previous video with the Golf R. We'll clean that screen, we'll throw new fluid in it, and then we'll also do the differential. And while I'm down here, you can kind of check out. On this side is where all the action really is for filling it, stuff like that. So, I'll set my light up. All right, so there's some. It can get a little confusing up here because there's actually two drains and then 2 fill plugs for the differential and the Haldex, and so I put a marker on them because you can screw them up, and you can totally bone yourself if you were to happen to drain the Haldex and then fill up the differential, or drain the differential and fill up the Haldex. People have done it and have wrecked their gears. So as you can see up here, this is for your Haldex fill plug. I don't know, yeah, up here I marked it in white. There's your Haldex fill, and then here is the drain plug where you unscrew this pretty long bolt. You unscrew this and bloop, comes out of there. And then over here is your differential drain it right there. And then here is your fill up here for the differential. So it's all encompassing one kind of unit. So, and then we'll pull the pump out. It's just got those 2 bolts. We'll slide this out, and then in there is got the little screen. There's a plastic screen that blocks big contaminants from getting in there and screwing things over. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. And I already said what kind of bolts you're going to need. So let me grab that stuff, and then we'll come back and drain the Haldex. Alright, I'll try to set you up there so where you can kind of see some things. But So up here, we're gonna take out our fill plug first, just to make sure we can get it out. And so this is my T5. I'm gonna crack this fill plug on this is for Haldex now. That comes out pretty dang easy. This is just a short little guy with a crush washer on it. I don't think anything should come out of here, and yep, it didn't. So there's our little crush washer on there, and we got a new one of those in the kit. So now that we got that, now we can take the big guy. Got a little bit of, that might be better with an Allen wrench actually. It just kind of doesn't fit very well. Actually, I'm going to grab a little extension just to see if that helps. Just going to see if any of these extensions give me a little bit of a better straight shot at this guy. Yeah, that should work. Might be a little bit out of the picture, but I'm just loosening it up. Oh, that went the wrong way. There we go. That wasn't actually on there too bad. Whoops. Just set back up here. Alright, so I just cracked it. And it actually wasn't, it's not torqued on there very tight at all. So it just, barely took any effort to just crack it. So try not to get in the way here. Actually, I'm gonna grab some gloves. Got some gloves. This is a pretty long bolt now, so this might take a second. There we go. Looks a little greenish, and it's not, I don't know if it's supposed to be perfectly clear, but it's got a little bit of a greenish tinge to it. And of course it kind of reeks. I got it on my bucket here, seeing how much it's filling up. You can see we're at about almost about a quarter of a quart. Yeah, there's quite a bit in there. So next, there's one bolt over here, and then one bolt on the other side, and that's where the small Torx comes in. I got a little 1/4 inch guy right here with a T5 on it. Yeah, it looks like a T5. So next I'll be cracking those two, and then we can slide this pump out. I'm not sure if there's an electrical connection or not. I think there is. Connector I'll show you on the other side when I get over there though, but we're going to let this drain, and then we'll head over to the other side to slide that pump out. Okay, so we're up on the other side, and then here's our Haldex pump right here. And then there's one bolt up here. Actually, I'll grab this. Here's your Haldex right up here. So there's one bolt right here. And that is that Torx I was talking about earlier. It's a T30, I believe. Yeah, T30 on this guy. And then a T30 up here. And I think it's just those two, and then this pump should slide out. I know on my Golf R, it had an electrical connection that kind of went up and around the hatch area, but I'm not seeing one on this, so we'll see once we loosen those up and slide that pump out what's kind of behind there. Is that a good look? Yeah, that'll work. Slide you up a little bit there. Alright. So we'll crack these now with my T30. So we'll just kind of get this a little closer as far as I can over there. This stuff reeks and I don't want to spill it everywhere. Yeah, let's get the top guy. Okay. If you ever go to the dealer, and if you want to do a Haldex service at a dealer, I believe they're not going to do this step of pulling the pump out, and there's a little plastic screen you'll see that it gets clogged up with stuff. So I don't understand just draining the fluid and filling it back up. That's not good enough. I mean, there's lots of crap that gets packed in this little screen that you'll see. But I mean, as far as I know, dealerships don't do that part. They'll just do the drain and the fill. On the Haldex, they won't pull this whole assembly out and clean this little filter, which is ridiculous. Okay, so as you can see now, there's some play to it. Grab my... There we go. Oh, poop. I spilled some. There we go. There's also looks like there is a little electrical connection on top here that I'm feeling that I need to deal with before I can take this pump completely out, because I don't believe there's enough room to oh, maybe there is enough room to shimmy this out. See, there you can see our two O-rings, and then there's our screen, which looks to have a good amount of crap on it. Okay, so maybe I don't need to undo the electrical connector, but I may anyway, just to clean everything up. But here, I'll give you a better look at this screen. Take a look at this screen up here. There is some junk in there. So I'm gonna figure out how to get this electrical connector out, and then I'll jump back when I have the pump out. Okay guys, we're back, and I got things sorted out, and like I said, with the Golf R I previously had, it has this electrical connection, which the exact same has here, and the pump plugs in, and this electrical connection goes up and over the drive shaft, and then clicks into a little box you can see that has another connection on it, and I'll show you. But and then it has these little tabs here that just go into some holes. So you can actually reach your hand up there and just pinch those in. They're not hard to do. You just reach your hand up and just pinch these and kind of push them out, and then it'll pop this out. And then you got to come over to the other side, to the box where this is plugged in. And this is another reason I just hate Volkswagen connectors, because they suck ass. I'm sorry, they do. But it's like any other car manufacturer, just has, you know, a push thing or a tab or a little red thing to click out, and then you can pull. But no, Volkswagen does this with all their crap, where it's like not straightforward. And it's like, yeah, it's got this click here, but see, it's got this thing where you think you would push, and you push, and it doesn't give at all, doesn't do anything. And so it's basically a crapshoot. So basically, I stuck a flat blade screwdriver yeah, up on this side. It stuck a flat blade screwdriver down here and kind of wiggled it. At the same time, took another screwdriver and kind of like wedged it and just pushed it until it went past the click. But God, I hate these so much. So that was kind of a bitch to do. I'll show you real quick the little box I was talking about that this plugs into. So you come under here, and you can see it dangling here. And so what I did is there is two, let me see if I can get you a good view here. See these two holes up here. This guy, and then that guy, that's what hold this box up. There's two little connections here where this guy screws to. Okay? Oops. And those, let me find them, are over here, and they are just T30, and they just bolt to there, and so they're just two T30s that bolt up there, like this, okay, and it sits up there, like this, and you just, with one of them I was able to get with my socket, the other one I had to get with kind of you know, one of those cheap little tools here that has a long extension thing with a T30. I got one of them with that. Anyway, that lets you unbolt it and then lets you kind of swivel it down so then you can get at those connections, and that's where that one is plugged in. And it goes up and over this drive shaft, clicks into those holes, and then plugs, you know, this is where the pump goes. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, like I remembered it. But it's just two bolts to get this down, and then you just fiddle with the stupid connection, and eventually you'll get it out, and then the pump just, whoop, it just flips over the top there, and you can pull the whole pump assembly out. So, get back out under here. Get back out here. All right. I'll give you a shot of the pump here. And I cleaned pretty much the body off a little bit, but I left the screen. I did do one wipe on the screen just because I wanted to see if it was crap I got in it, and it wasn't. But here you can see in the sunlight, there is quite a bit of junk, surprisingly. Not so much on the bottom half, but on the top, yeah, it seems to be a jelly type material, and it looks kind of like, you know, clutch or friction material. So I'm gonna take out these two bolts here, and then I'll spray it down with some brake clean and get that all clean, and then I will finish really cleaning off the pump real good with brake clean. I'm going to clean all this junk out everywhere, get it super clean. Then we're going to put these O-rings on, and then we'll put this baby back up into place. So I'll get to cleaning. Alright guys, we're back, and I got my new O-rings thrown on the pump. I got it all cleaned out, and I'll give you a look here. Alright, so here's the pump. I don't have anything tightened down yet. I just put the screws in here loose. They're loose right now. And as you can see, I got everything nice and clean here. I cleaned out the interior of that thing, scooped a bunch of crap out that was on the bottom of this part of the pump that stays on the car. Everything's super clean. I got those new O-rings on. These are the new bolts. And I'll show you around the other side here what I was talking about, that box that you have to take off if you want to pull the pump completely off of the car. Alright, so you're looking at it from the front here. Move this over here. Okay, so here's your drive shaft, and then this is the box I was talking about right up here. This is the box I was talking about, and the plug is, you can see my finger, but up here on the top. And that's why if you take, the bolts are right here and right here, and they're T30, and you just screw those out, and then this will just loosen up. And so when you loosen it up, you can take the pump out and give it some slack, so you can pull this down a little bit further, spin it around, and then you can get to the plugs a little bit easier. So that's what I did. Just pulled it down, got to the plugs, popped the plugs eventually, even though they suck. and this whole box kind of just dangled off to the side then, and then the cord just goes up and over the drive shaft, and you can pull the whole pump assembly free, so that's super nice. So I've got my torque wrench here, my 1/4-inch torque wrench with my T30 on it, and we're going to torque down these bolts. Now I kind of looked online, and the number that I saw somebody post, somebody posted one that seemed a little bit, it was like 26 foot-pounds, and I was like, that's a pretty high amount of torque for these kind of bolts. I mean, it seemed a little fishy. So I did some other looking, and I found someone that he converted it from Newton meters, and the torque, I guess, on these guys, and I hope this is correct, and I'll be able to feel when I torque it down if it feels about right. But that person online said that they should be torqued to 9.5 Newton meters. And that converts to about 84 inch pounds. So I'm going to set my torque wrench for 84 inch pounds. And we're going to see how that feels. It's about halfway up this torque wrench. There's 80 and then 4 inch pounds. So we'll see how that feels once I get to tightening this. Yeah, that feels about right. See, it just starts to get a little snug. And that feels, 84 feels about what it should be. And so then I'll tighten the top here. There we go. Just give it a hair more, and then I'll go back here and check this one. Okay. That's 84 inch pounds on those guys. And then we should be good to fill her up. And then we'll see if I can find out how to prime the pump using OBD11. But everything's all cleaned up and we're ready to fill her up, I guess. So that's what we'll do next. Alright guys, I'm back. Got ourselves a brand new drain bolt for the drain hole, and let me check the torque specs on that. That one is going to be 283.5 or 284 inch pounds, and that converts to about 23.6 foot-pounds. So I set my torque wrench here at 24, and so that's what we're going to torque this guy to. 24 foot-pounds. So let's find our socket here. 20, it's not that guy, there it is. $24 I got it set for. It's just slowing down, dripping here, so we'll... And there wasn't any sealant or anything on the original bolt, so I'm not going to put it on this one. 23, 24 foot-pounds, and this is a long threaded bolt. Alright, there we go. And they should be set to go here. It shouldn't be too much. Jeez. I'm surprised it's that much. That doesn't seem right. Because that seems pretty dang tight right there. Yeah, I'm on 30 foot-pounds. There we go, it was right there anyway, so. Alright, because that seemed just about tight enough right there, and then gave it a bit more, and we are there. So we're torqued on the bottom here, so now we can pump it up through the fill hole up here. What did I do with my hose? I just have one of those normal little pumper guys here. Okay. And then we'll start the first fill here. Starting to drip a little bit. I don't know if it's because we're full or if it's just because it's leaking a little bit out of the hose. So we're going to pull this guy out a little bit. Okay, it doesn't really seem to be flowing out yet. Because I pulled the hose and there's really nothing there, so I'm going to keep going. So now it seems to be running a little faster. We'll pull it out. Check. Okay, so still really nothing when I pull the hose out. Okay, so now, yeah, there we go. Now she's flowing out. Pretty good. Yep, we got ourselves a nice drainer there. Okay. So she's full. And we will take our little fill plug here. Brand new. Screw that guy in. Let me check the torque spec on that guy. Let's see what that guy is, even though I think I'm going to be taking it back off probably, just to check after we get up to temperature. We'll check. Fill plug. Let's see, fill plug 15 Newton meters. Alright, so let's grab our wrench here and change this guy over to inch pounds. So Newton meters. So it says it was fill plug 15 Newton meters. And that's 15 Newton meters is 133 inch pounds. I will set that 125. 125s, 130, 31, 233 Newton meters. enough room up there, probably. Oh, barely. Okay. There's our torque on that guy. And then we're all set there. And so, and our next step would be to warm up the car and then check the temp or fluid and stuff like that. But I don't want to warm up the car yet because we're going to be doing the differential. So we'll just go right to that now. We'll just go right to the diff service here. Alright, and I got my bucket all clean again. Well, it was clean. So much stuff to do it. Okay, so we'll see what comes out of this diff now. Well, that's not a Torx. Find my normal Allen bolt. Actually, yeah, I should, before I do this, I should take the fill plug off, just to make sure I can get it off. Even though it's a pretty new car, so I should be able to crack it, which I can. Okay, so let's pull off the fill plug. Oh. There's our fill plug, same as the Haldex one. Okay, and then there is our drain plug. Actually, it looks pretty good, pretty clear. I didn't think this one would be too bad. I just figured since I was here, might as well do it. It's not that much fluid, it's a little amount. Yeah, I should be able to handle it with that 1 quart that I got. Alright, so we're going to let this drain, and then I'll tighten the drain bolt back up, and then I'll come back when we're pumping up the diff, so we'll be back for that. Alright guys, we are back, and I got done draining the diff up here, and there's my drain plug. I haven't torqued it down, I just put it in place, and I just wanted to show you just about under a quart came out, just a tick under a quart. So we'll see if 1 bottle does it or if I have to throw a little bit more in. I'm not really sure yet, so we'll see. So I will send you guys over here. Right. Alright, so I just kept the same torque. I'm not sure about the torque specs on this. I'm going to keep them the same because they're exact same bolt, torquing into the exact same aluminum case. So I'm going to guess it's going to be the same here. So I'm going to go with the same torque specs as I had on the fill plug for the Haldex here. So we'll just keep it similar. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's basically like you get it tight, and then you give it like not even an eighth, like a 16th or a 32nd of a turn, a little bit past the click. Okay, so now, so we're just under a quart here. So I got my bottle right here, and my same pumper guy. I cleaned out the hose and stuff from the Haldex, so we'll just put this back into the hole. We will fill up our diff up here. So it'll have nice clean diff fluid and pump fluid so I can get those nice launches. I mean, the launches have been fine anyway. I still have yet to do a stage 2 launch with the DSG2, and I'm kind of scared. I wanted to wait until I got all this done before then, because if it had leaked a little bit of fluid, I didn't want to take something out from being on low fluid. So now that we got her full, we'll be able to launch the shit out of her. And also, when you're launching your car like this, you got to make sure to do your DSG fluid very, very often. Well, not, I mean, it's recommended, you know, every, I think, 50,000 miles by Volkswagen and Audi, but if you're tuned and pushing more power and doing launches, most people say to do it around 30, so I'm just about at 30, so I will probably wait until I'm a little bit after 30 to do it, because I've launched the car a couple times, but not a ton. So that'll be coming at some point. We'll get to do a DSG fluid. And I'm kind of looking into if it's any different than when I had the Mark 7 GTI. That had the 6-speed dual clutch, and this car has the 7-speed newer one. So I'm not sure if anything's real different about that or if all the basics are pretty much the same. Change my grip here. Okay, we are back, and after I used up that bottle, literally like 2 pumps later, off of more fluid, it overflowed. So it's right at a bottle until it starts overflowing like crazy. So that's where it was at. So it is right at about one of those bottles. It's about where you need to be. But so we're just letting her trickle down now, and then we will torque her down, and then we'll be good with the diff, and then we can go and start it up, and hopefully that pump can cycle and pull on some of that fluid, and then the fluid should drop in the Haldex, and then maybe we can put a little bit more Haldex fluid in. I'm not really sure though, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we're doing basically a real slow drip now, so we will put our plug back in. Oops. Okay, good wipe down. And then we will give it a good torque down. Okay, and we're good there. Alright, so then we should be all good down here. So I'm going to clean up all this crap, get everything. I'm going to spray this down with some brake clean, get all this fluid off of here. And we'll clean up, and then we'll start her up and see if everything's working good. Alright guys, so we are back, and we're all buttoned up. The Haldex is torqued down, it's got fluid in it, it's plugged in. The diff is drained and fluid's back in it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start up the car, let it warm up. You know, maybe I don't know how warm the fluid has to get. I'll check, because maybe I can look on my LBD11 and see what temperature it needs to be. But I'll just probably run it through, just make sure all the wheels are spinning and stuff. Make sure that pump has got fluid going through it, and then we'll let it warm up, and then we'll check the fluid again to make sure it's still good. You saw that all the wheels started spinning. I went through a couple of gears and they all seem to be doing good. So I'm gonna let it warm up here, check the temperature on OBD11, and then we'll check if it needs any more fluid.